My coworker's unprofessional behavior is ruining my job. Now, he's been put on a PIP and is being refused overtime. I work for a company that is growing rapidly. We just underwent a restructuring where our old teams were dissolved and integrated into one big team. My old duties were reassigned, and I was paired with John. And he is making my job miserable. A job I previously loved. Let's get to the personal things first. John is morbidly obese. He uses a rollator to get around the office. He grunts, snorts, oinks, sighs and sometimes breathes like he's masturbating at his desk, which is right next to mine. He farts non-stop and makes a big production to excuse himself over it. He has loud rustling bags of snacks and pop that he is constantly making noise with. He listens to his music in his earbuds so loud that everyone can hear it 3 cubes away. And he is nosy as in butting into private conversations, asking inappropriately personal questions and not taking "I'd rather not discuss this with you" for an answer. And last week, I walked by his desk on the way back from heating up my lunch to see him with his shirt pulled all the way up, giant hairy belly, nipples and all, putting on deodorant and complaining how hot the office was. I have never seen the temp set above of us, men, women and menopausal, have to keep electric blankets at our desk, and his clothes are absolutely filthy most of the time. He sometimes wears the same filthy pair of jeans to work for days at a time. On a professional level, I am trying to figure out why he hasn't been fired. He is late every single day. He has the lowest productivity of everyone. He can't complete a single task without needing a supervisor. Now that we have merged, I am doing about 98% of the work. He cherry-picks the task queue, grabbing the easy stuff to get his KPI up, and leaves me to deal with the hard stuff. Before we integrated, he was letting the queue get absolutely out of control so others who were trained in it would have to jump in and add. Soon as he saw easy tasks disappearing that he had apparently been hoarding, he would throw tantrums, even throwing and breaking our company-provided Apple Smart Mouse. Now that we are integrated, the job hasn't changed. Only a couple of task lists have been renamed. It's the exact same process that he's been doing for nearly a year, but he is screwing it up, disappearing from his desk for a half hour at a time to go to the bathroom and throwing tantrums every time someone points out that he is, in fact, today I learned not doing his job correctly. Then subs have to hold his hand and show him again. And then he screws it up again. This is a healthcare billing office. Our tasks are supposed to be a first in, first out process. Him cherry-picking the inbox is causing problems because one patient is getting their things processed before another, despite another patient being submitted first. I have already mentioned it to my subs that this is a real problem. All they do comes and re-educate, then today I learned will have to answer and re-answer questions every 5 minutes and then listen to another tantrum when we point out, again, that he's still doing it wrong. This is a really great company. The pay and benefits are excellent. Lots of bonus opportunities. But this miserable, fat, overgrown toddler is making me ready to quit. Update: so, he was pulled into a meeting yesterday. I finally went to HR after more than one coworker came to me to tell me that he was bad-mouthing me behind my back, calling me greedy for taking all the work. And unfair that he now had to stay late. Raking in overtime while what little after-hours work trickled at hundreds of dollars per week. Apparently, no one had really been looking at his performance because we were always caught up "you're welcome" and we've been so busy, so they never looked to see what his productivity was during overtime. I came armed with the numbers and told them, essentially, that if something doesn't change, that I am putting in my notice. My co-workers backed me up. His disparaging remarks about me and management after hours. Sleeping at his desk. He even fell asleep in our team meeting right before his meeting. The constant eating. We actually timed his stopping to open snack after snack after snack. Chips, crackers, Lunchables, tasty cakes, cookies. Every 15-18 minutes. Including immediately after coming back from lunch and for the first 45 minutes after arriving at work. As well as the unsavory behavior like practically taking off his shirt to apply deodorant at his desk and the offensive noises that he makes in the hours of overtime he was racking up doing absolutely nothing. As well as how he is late every day. He's been placed on a PIP, exclusively for his productivity and quality. He won't be allowed voluntary overtime or WFH until his productivity improves. Likely won't be around much longer. Thanks for all of the helpful words. Now for the comments. Commenter: it's nice that coworkers back you up. Some people tend to stand by and not involve themselves. Good luck. Original poster: everyone is running themselves ragged trying to keep up with the influx of work, and then there's this guy. Sleeping, playing on his phone and stuffing his face non-stop. Update: to so, they started by moving his desk to the other side of the office. Closer to the director's office. One coworker mentioned to me that he remarked they can't fire me. I'm disabled. On Tuesday we had our weekly team meeting. The tension in the room was palpable. Everyone knew by this point the absolutely despicable things he has been saying about people for just doing our jobs according to our job descriptions. Shocker, misogynistic and racist and homophobic. Wednesday he was sent home early because management finally saw him sleeping at his desk with their own eyes. Yesterday, his KPI for 8 hours was 21. The rest of us were 150 plus. We just finished Q2, and we knew we had a bonus coming that was supposed to be announced today. Nothing life-changing, but we knew it would definitely be helpful. There was a lot of resentment against him because he literally doesn't work. He honestly didn't earn it. I went in this morning. Since they moved his desk, I don't see him come in anymore, but I assume it's late. As usual, over an hour later, he hadn't done a single thing, and I was just done. I'm just going to put my head down, do my work. Then I had a minor issue that I needed to ask our IT person about, so I got up and walked across the office to ask them. They weren't in their office, but then I see it. HR is standing next to his desk while he packs up. And then he is quietly escorted out of the building. He didn't get the bonus, and it was announced later this afternoon. Again, not life-changing but definitely needed. I managed just fine today on my own. Today was a good day. Thank you for sticking around through this. My issue wasn't that I had to work hard. It was that someone with less seniority was getting paid more than I was by stealing overtime to do 1/5 the work while I could manage, easily, in 8 hours. And while throwing tantrums every time he didn't get to just do the bare minimum. I don't know how to link previous posts. Now for the comments. Commenter: he will most likely end up collecting disability. It is hard to tell what the guy was going through himself, so I try not to judge. Until you are in someone else's shoes, you never know how hard it is for them to do 1/5 of the work you are doing. If he would not have been rude and mean, I probably could have cared less if he wasn't producing as much as me. That is for management to evaluate and decide. But I'm glad for you, if your concern and misery was due to his behavior, and not his lack of productivity. If it was lack of productivity, I don't see how that was your business really, or how it would make your job miserable. Original poster: it was his underhanded behavior. He would cherry-pick the absolute easiest tasks, hoard them and leave us with all the hard crap. Half of our office has health problems, including one guy that only has one arm. Severe autoimmune, one girl has been in and out of the hospital. No one has trouble keeping up with basic productivity expectations. This is literally a very basic data processing role. If he didn't spend 3/4 of the day watching ball games on his phone with his earbuds playing so loudly you could hear it from 4 cubes away, cramming snacks in his face literally every 15 minutes, sleeping or camping out in the john for 30 minutes at a time, maybe I would feel sorry for him. He purposely did the absolute bare minimum. His disability is self-inflicted. We have a gal with PCOS who is heavy. She doesn't need to eat every 15 minutes, and she absolutely slays her job, even when she feels unwell. This has nothing to do with disability. The tantrums, the cherry-picking could be perceived as prioritizing one patient over another since we are supposed to be working cases in order. And yes, the lack of productivity. Our company sets very reasonable expectations, with understanding of circumstances that can affect that productivity day to day. His productivity, and theft of thousands of dollars in overtime, was unacceptable. As was his behavior. They gave him every accommodation. Every chance. Every opportunity. He needed a bigger chair, a shorter desk, meetings always started late waiting for him. We have multiple diabetics in our office. I have hypoglycemia and RA. I don't know a single person in our office with these conditions that needs to take a 15-minute snack break every 15. Those of us who have these conditions keep cheese and crackers, protein bars, tuna packets, and other low glycemic index foods at our desks to get our sugar up and stay up. Not tasty cakes, potato chips, and candy bars in can after can after can of pop. He was getting cases delivered to the office through DoorDash. His disability is that he was over 400 pounds. His disability was that he was lazy, entitled and unprofessional at best, childish at worst. His disability was that he uses his disability to bully co-workers and management with threats. The entire office hated him. Which is unusual because everyone in my company gets along well with one another. Normally I stick up for the outcast. I had to fight the overwhelming urge to scream in his face every single day. Do not blame this on disability. He was lazy and entitled. Full stop. Commenter: that detail puts a different light on this for sure. Glad that all of you will now have some peace as it relates to this guy no longer being in your daily lives. And I hope his health improves and he becomes better as a person.